Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Twitter Spaces of Trace Network Labs. I'm going to be your host for the experienced speakers over here. We have Tushar, we have Vivek, and we have Mayur as well. So it's so nice to have all of you over here together. Vivek, if I've sent you the speaking request, if you can't log in, try and logging in from a phone because the speaking request doesn't show from a desktop computer. And try and see if it works again because I've been sending you the request. So, without much further ado, I think all of us should begin now. I'm just trying to see if we can get all of our speakers onboarded and then we'll begin. Today's topic is going to be experiences in the metaverse, and I hope it's exciting for all of you. So, let's start in just a minute. Perfect. We have all of them over here. Hi, Vivek. We have Mayur.
Yeah, hi. Hi, everyone.
Awesome. Okay, I think Vivek, you can just log out and send me once more. I think it'll work. I've got the request now. Great. So, we have all three of them. And it's so nice to have some OGs from the space talking today. So let's start with Vivek. Hi, Vivek. Vivek, I think your network is breaking again and again. Let's go to Tushar first. Tushar, can you give a quick introduction of how did you get into the space and what has been your journey like? Just a quick 30-second, 1 minute introduction.
Oh, that's a long journey to be wrapped up in 30 seconds. Hello, everyone. This is Tushar Gandotra. I am the founder of Fiex Technologies, a proponent of hybrid reality, a decentralized hybrid reality, working on launching our own NFT marketplace with AR integration. Have been in the industry since 2016. Uh, Metaverse is a very interesting topic for a long time for me. I mean, for now, it has been propelled into the world because of the rename of Facebook to Meta. But otherwise, Metaverse has existed for almost 20 years now. Uh, so many interesting things have happened. There was a game called Second Life. I have played those things in the past. I have been a gamer for a long time. So it's a very fascinating subject for me, the metaverse. How is it evolving? What is happening? A lot of things are in the imaginative state. I'm still working on building a complete metaverse, which is properly usable. But yes, we are on the right path. Things are working fine. You have Mayur here. I have known him for a while now. Their platform is fantastic. I mean, he recently did a conference there. I attended that. Very interesting platform they are offering. So the community space is growing. People are more aware of what metaverse is, and people are more interested in understanding what are the right use cases they can get to the metaverse. I don't think that but that's pretty much all from my side. Why don't you start?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Tushar. I think that was a very good summary of how you've started, and it was very insightful as well. Let's go to Mayur as well. You said you've known Mayur for a long time. Mayur, a quick 30-second to a minute introduction of what you've been doing and the kind of journey that you've had in the space.
Yeah, sure. Though I am not, techie by my background, but I have been, very much interested in technology. Whenever it comes to technology, with along with my jobs in previous organization, I used to run this community called IoT NCR, which helps people to understand more about IoT, and from there I picked the technology part, and I started getting into it. And when this blockchain boom came in, even then I was in IoT. And at the later stage, I had this chance to just jump into this world of NFTs and metaverse, and I just grabbed it with both of my hands. And that's how I am here, and trying to give people a platform to launch their own metaverse spaces at Metavesal. That's the whole journey. And yeah, Tushar and myself have known to each other, and have done few things together. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's a very inspiring journey. Would love to know more about your projects as we move ahead with the
Sure.
discussion. So, coming back to Tushar, Vivek, first of all, I am trying again and again. Maybe you should, maybe there's some network problem from your side. I don't know, because it's working well with Mayur, but we're having troubles with Tushar and Vivek. So, just try and see if the network can be improved from your sides. So, Mayur, let's start the next question with you. So, this topic for today is experiences in the metaverse. So, you said you're building some kind of an experience with your project as well. So, when you hear the word experiences, what kind of experiences do you think metaverse can have? Or what is your vision of experiences in the metaverse?
So, when it comes to experience, and that experience is basically the topmost layer of, the metaverse ecosystem, and it basically starts from the infrastructure and goes to up to experience, and that's one part is there which you know differentiates a 2D, or I would say a normal environment, the real internet which we are seeing now, with from metaverse, right? And if we talk about experiences in metaverse, it has to be something which gives you a feel that you are in that world, and you are actually able to do the things which you are doing currently in the real world. You think that only showing some images or videos, or having some spaces wherein you can move freely, sit there, it is an experience. But then I think it this way, that whatever you are able to do it in the real world, right, replicating that, or maybe going beyond that experience, is what the metaverse experiences are for me. So let's say in this world I can go and get thrilled in a water park. The same way I want to go and get thrilled in a metaverse space, jumping in and splashing in pool of water. That is where I think these sort of experiences, and I'm pretty much sure that the technology, how it is moving, the haptics, and VR part, AR part, everything going to help us to build such kind of experiences for the people around. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's our hope as well. And things move. In fact, I've just tagged this on top of the spaces that your story covered about Trace Network and our vision in the space of experiences. And what we are doing is we are enabling a full stack tech for businesses
Hmm.
to actually build their own 3D experiences in the metaverse. So that's going to be exciting. And I'm sure every company will have their own vision. And it's really exciting to see where things are going, especially with the tech. So,
Right.
let's get Tushar as well. Tushar, when you hear the word experiences in the metaverse, what does you get in your mind, and what is kind of your vision based on it?
Okay, so Poshak, when people talk about experiences, a major portion of that experience is a visual experience. So, from where I see metaverse as a very immersive platform, a very visual based platform where you can do multiple things, closing the gap between the real world and the virtual world. Whatever you want to do, let's say meeting somebody, uh, connecting with people, visiting some new places, at least in the virtual side. So a lot of visual experiences are inbuilt to metaverse, and a lot of that experience comes from the gaming side. We are talking about GameFi these days. We are talking about different metaverse. We are talking about different tokenomics. Everything is basically to enhance the experience on how you will connect with others. So till now, the social media, the social network was all about 2D things, photographs. How do you connect to somebody on LinkedIn? You connect using the profile. You see somebody's photograph, you see somebody's profile, you understand what they have been doing, and you can connect. So how do you take these experiences to the next level, which is more immersive, which is more real like, but virtual in the same time? So
instead of connecting on LinkedIn, I can connect on the metaverse. I can have a semi physical meeting with anybody across the world. Your followers are not limited by the regions. You may have people following you from different parts of the world. How do you connect them in an immersive manner in the same uh, scale? You connect through metaverse. So that is how I see metaverse growing and building these new experiences. I was recently talking to somebody today, and they said we are building haptic experiences into the metaverse. So that's about shortening the gap of other senses of your body. So how do you feel the touch of somebody across the world? So all these new technologies are coming in. uh, if you ask me why now, I think the technology is present right now to build these kind of use cases. We didn't have 4G earlier. The internet was too slow for such big communication things across the world. So we didn't have IoT, we didn't have 4G, we didn't have 5G. Now, with the new technologies coming in, it's more easy. Uh, think about think about it as a transition from your regular telephone. You If you remember the swindling when you dial somebody 0 1. So from there to a touch screen phone, a totally different experience. The earlier landlines were used to just call. Now the smartphone is used to do so many things, not just call. So how do you take it forward? You build new experiences around it. So that is what I believe. It's an immersive experience for people to connect in a new world, which is very social and which is beyond borders, and technology is supporting it now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think Mayu, you would like to add to that?
Yeah, true that. And there are things which obviously will mean that to make it a true metaverse, we need to have a, a place for decentralization in there, because we cannot allow corporates, like they start with in a very friendly manner. They Once they grow, and the growth slows down, they become very competitive in nature. They start exploiting the people on the network, and that's what metaverse will also solve. It's not only the visual experience, it has to be the experience you're getting in terms of your ownership part of it. You are actually owning the assets, and you are moving within and among the metaverse, with that identity, right? So you have to own that identity. With that is also an experience which you are getting while you are in the metaverse. And you know uh, obviously this metaverse word which we are talking about here has to be created by all of us, and it should be open to all. And to create that sort of experience for everyone, we need to make sure that these experiences are and people are allowed to basically create their own experiences as well. For example, in the real world, I can create my own home. I can create my own balcony and decide, okay, I want to have few plants in there, and I want to just have one chair to have a cup of coffee in the morning. That is an experience which I like, for example, and that I need to be able to create that sort of experience in the metaverse. And that's the experience, I would say, is the real experience in the metaverse.
Yes, absolutely. Right. And I've been, Tushar mentioned this word immersion. So, there are a lot of these people who claim that these things need to be very realistic. But I absolutely agree with Tushar that you need to feel immersed. And even if it's not very realistic, or it is realistic in some ways, for example, in Trace Network Labs, we have real looking avatars because we care about our identity. And Web3 is trying to solve the identity problem. So, it looks identical to you. But the fashion NFTs. So where do you think the boundary lies between real things and immersion and all of that?
That's a thin
Is
line. It's
Tushar, you
walking
can go.
there
Tushar.
every day. Yes, the I mean, it's a very thin line when you talk about the boundary of the real world and the most immersive world. It's a thin line. It's still getting thinner every day. I mean, we are trying to create new technology. Even in Trace Network, I know you are working on so many new innovations, which I am sure is going to reduce these differences between the real world and the virtual world. And I believe when everybody talks about metaverse, the more focus goes to the virtual reality based metaverse. When I talk about metaverse, I see the hybrid reality based metaverse with a bigger use case compared to virtual reality. I am not saying it's bad, virtual reality is bad, or hybrid reality is good. It's about two different use cases, which both are important. We have the cars, we have the SUVs, we have the nano as well. Different cars, different use cases for each of them. So based on these use cases, you can choose whatever you want. And when we talk about decentralized applications, decentralized metaverse, I don't believe the world is going to be decentralized 100%. We are not going to have 100% decentralized of everything. So both the worlds will coexist. Corporates are not always bad. Every company who's a startup is trying to become a corporate with new innovations, with new things in place. And at the end, everybody is talking about some revenue numbers. You need revenue to survive. You need revenue to build. You need revenue to scale. So I don't feel that it is going to be 100% decentralized world, but decentralized world is going to be a major part of it as well.
Yeah, and I agree, Tushar, to this. And like, Poshak said that, you know, this word would be immersive, and this word would be on the other side. It will be a real word that we will obviously be, coexisting this in this metaverse world and the real world. And decentralization and centralized will also coexist, because in this metaverse, we cannot allow every part to be decentralized. Obviously, there has to be revenues coming in. There has to be the startups who are actually eyeing for those, and which we are currently actually seeing. And economy, which is again very much important if we want to create an independent metaverse worlds, wherein users can actually come in, they can inhabit, or they can even earn revenues from there. So a coexistence with the new technologies, which the new concepts which are coming in, like the metaverse world, or like we talked, the decentralized world, along with the previous concepts which have been in existence, is the way forward.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for those answers. I think that makes a lot of sense. So, now that we've decided that these experiences are going to coexist and there are going to be a lot of these kinds of experiences, personally for you, what do you think is the key to creating these experiences? Is the community, there are going to be a lot of these communities creating their own kinds of experiences? Is it going to be the same things that happen in the physical world but in a more metaverse sense, like more of a virtual concert and things that we are seeing? So what are the kind of some examples of experiences that both of you are seeing?
Sure. So to begin with, like you have already said, that community, and I will add a word to this: community and collaboration is what will drive this metaverse world. There are a lot of people, building, different independent metaverse world, but we would have to make sure that these has to be interoperable metaverses word. And once that become, you know uh, you know that is something which will uh, allow this to grow to an extent wherein everyone will be contributing and be part of it. Because and this will also make sure that it will grow to a level that you know every everyone in the community, everyone in the society will be willing to spend time, will be willing to spend money and will be willing to be part of the metaverse. So, and that's I believe is the key for us to figure out. That has to be in coherence with every metaverse builders around, people who are trying to build their words. So we have to create one word. So we are living on this earth, which is again of words, right? And if we take an example from this natural words, we have to be in coherence, and that I believe is the solution, is the key for making it to the next level.
Hey guys, nice hearing you, Mayur, Tushar. Like some good thoughts you have put over here regarding the experiences and like what should be built when it comes to creating a value ecosystem. And Metaverses has given definitely a big hope uh, for building up a complete new digital human civilization wherein you can exist over there and at least you can. Um, Go away from those limitations which exist in the physical world, and it's better to connect in a more immersive way even if you are at distant places. So uh, like couple of good things which I you guys spoke about, like which made me really excited, is about like how it is going to be bridging and to with the physical world, the real world wherein we are living. And unless there is a bridge, we kind of won't be able to build up that adoption into metaverses. It will always be a disconnected world if there is no such bridge. And for that, there has to be a way to monetize if we are building up this whole ecosystem. So when it comes to community, then community also should be monetized for their efforts in building up it or living in these experiences. When it comes to businesses, they are also looking forward like how they can continue using metaverse but to serve in the physical world in a better way. Now imagine like the experiences which we used to have before pandemic hit us. We used to go out to friends place to watch movie, right? And that was a
Mhm.
kind of experience we miss today. And this is because now we are more comfortable in our own isolated world, maybe, but or maybe we have adapted to a new lifestyle wherein it's less social. So now convenience is a very important thing wherein if things are convenient, all these experiences cannot be neglected, and if everyone want to be enjoying those experiences. So for sure, like metaverse has given this a possibility and hope that it could be very easy and convenient for one to just teleport themselves in a complete new space wherein you are with your friends and acquaintances and having the same kind of experience. And like this whole experience should be somewhere connected to a way like it can be monetized, right? So if I can build up something wherein like I can g- be rewarded apart from a social social
Contributions.
bindingness which it provides. Apart from that, what else? How can I use this metaverse more frequently for different purposes? So there has to be more utilities to be built around on it. So like there are businesses who have started building up the brands, fashion brands. We have been hearing like they have been creating stores in metaverse. Now the purpose is so that they can connect well with the audiences or their customers who are connected to that brand. We used to go to the brand store and we used to like think about like this particular brand store has got this ambience, and with all those things in mind we used to go to the store. Now that's gone. Now the brand customer connect has gone. Now to build up the same connection, now these brands have started setting up their stores. Now these stores, okay, it is definitely an experience to us that we feel that we are somewhere standing in a real store of a brand. We can see all the collections, we can buy these collection as an nfts, hold them, and it has got some utility in metaverse as well. Now what if we can bridge it with the real world? Imagine you are going to a brand store, buying a digital uh, wearable product, and then holding it as an NFT, and apart from that, you can also get the physical product delivered. Now that's a bridging. Now these kind of bridges have to be created so that we tend to go there again and again. So this is what exactly, and I really appreciate that you guys put this forward, so that everyone understands where the whole metaverse concept is moving.
Right, Lokesh. And like you rightly said, uh, you know, yeah. And
Absolutely. Just before you chime in, Mayur, I think we have Vivek as well. So Vivek, can you just give a quick 30-second introduction, and then we'll add you in the discussion as well.
Hi everyone. Sorry for joining a bit late. I was facing some technical issues, and thank you for having me here. So, as my intro, I am a computer science engineer, and having a knack of interest in the blockchain and crypto since quite some time. I am in this space since from 5 to 6 years. I joined crypto in 2016 and worked with a lot of exchanges around 2018, 2019 in the community growth in India. Currently, I'm working with Prime Equity India as a growth manager, and then also as an India ambassador for ZB Exchange. And I also have, a seasoned investor, you can say, and studying blockchain uh, awareness in a lot of communities from quite some time. So, thanks for having me here. That is all. Take care.
Great. Thank you, Vivek, for the introduction, and we are looking forward to your insights. Go ahead, Mayu. What were you saying?
Yeah, I was just adding to what Lokesh said, and these bridges will be something which will actually enable the coexistence and the coherence, which we were speaking earlier. And this is the way people, community, and everyone around will be more willing to come in the metaverse because they are already in the real world. Nobody would like to buy. I mean, most of the people. I'm not saying there will be not people who will not like to collect it digitally, but adding the physical into it will make it more attractive, right? And that experience is something like which Lokesh rightly said. We all need to build together, making it more connected with the real world along with the metaverse world.
And beside this, I was chatting with Tushar like few hours back. So, and these are just not the experiences. There is a lot behind it. So, like every interaction we are having in the metaverses can be captured on chain, and that is a very beautiful set of data which can be analyzed and put together to improve these experiences. So imagine I am going to a particular concert or say a event. So how much time I spent over there, with how many people I interacted, and all these things, all this information can be stored on chain, and this is something one can use to kind of define and devise a lot of things related to these experiences. If I'm going to imagine a experience store of a brand, there I'm liking one product, I'm trying another product, and I'm buying the third product. Now all these data is very important for even a brand to consume and even decide like what they have to physically produce for the market. And this is something which is going to save a lot of wastages. So today they do overproduction, and eventually they end up selling at discounted prices, and this is what they are doing because the demand was not exactly how they assumed. And having this kind of data being captured on chain, it defines a lot about behavior, a lot about choices. So this is another level which helps the businesses and individuals to further build on these experiences. So like these are the layers which we will keep on building, and this is just a starting. Like we have just started scratching the top of this mountain. There is a lot inside it. Right now we are just talking about metaverses. It is way beyond. It has to be like I'm a very big advocate of open metaverses. So right now the infrastructure is not ready and available for creating open metaverse, but yes, we can go step by step in towards that direction, because eventually that's what is being needed. It has to create more value for the people who want to use it. I'm buying something in Decentraland. So say there are a lot of brands right now who are selling their collections over there. But if I'm not able to use my asset in a different metaverse, then what's the point of having it? So that value can only be created if it is a open metaverse infrastructure which lets you to carry your assets over there, and which lets you to carry it outside as well. Now that is what has to be needed for improving those experiences. Experience is not just what you see, but how comfortable and convenient it is to use the infrastructure. That's also an experience.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, uh, Lokesh. And now we have Vivek as well. So, Vivek, you've missed a lot of the session. So, would you like to quickly talk about experiences and how do you see physical experiences and experiences in the metaverse connecting together?
Well, yeah, that's kind of interesting, the topics the other fellow speakers raised here. So yes, that is a very valid and an important point, to raise here, that if we have some experiences in the metaverse and we are, able to, what you can say, experience those in the physical world as well, then yeah, that is something that we should look forward to. And as my good friend right now suggested, that there should be open metaverse. I would say in the open metaverse, the selling of assets, the uses of assets in different metaverses. I think the assets and the interoperability is a very important issue that needs to be worked upon. It is being worked upon by a lot of projects, but not on a very big scale. But yeah, if we are to say that the way we are seeing the world in around 4 or 5 years from now, I think most of the meetings, most of the experiences that we are having in the virtual space are going to increase with manifold, as we have seen in the last from past 1 year. The way NFTs and metaverse adoption has been, it has been very incredible, and yeah, so that is the thing, and I feel that yeah, this is something that we should look forward to.
Right. Thank you so much for that, Vivek. I think Tushar wants to add something.
Uh, Poshak, basically, I mean, everybody is trying to glorify the metaverse in the way that there are so many technological advancements. But from a user's perspective, if I look at it, they are all apps basically, be it decentralized metaverse, be it a centralized metaverse. For now, they are all behaving as apps. So people use Uber, people use Ola at the same time. So it's not like you are stuck only with one app. People use Facebook, people use Instagram, people use Snapchat. So they go to multiple apps to get something specific done. So the beauty of this is basically in those usage only, that it is not going to be a single app for metaverse. There are going to be multiple metaverses which are which are focused on some different specific objectives. So for example, an industrial metaverse which is focused on only the industrial usage. Probably a Tinder like metaverse, which is more like a dating metaverse. So everybody is going to come up with some of their own apps using probably the whole of one metaverse, or building a smaller version of their own metaverse. Uh, I'm talking as a geek person, but I see as the development of technology is not going to limit the usage. Technology development is going to happen on the major scale. Everybody is trying to develop something related to the interoperability or something related to the monetization. And you recently asked around why the community or what is more important. I think whenever we are talking about these technologies, whenever we are talking about the community or probably a decentralized way, I think the preface of all these things is basically the open source culture. That why do you build something in an open source way for for the good actually? So you create some technology which can be built in coordination with multiple people, which can be built in a very brilliantly collaborated way across the world, be it SourceForge, be it GitHub. You can build it across the world with people, and the community gets the benefit out of it. So when we talk about the decentralized metaverse, everybody will have a chance to get into it, be it as the provider of node, be it as the provider of hardware, be it as the provider of some technology in terms of uh, meta commerce or something like a meta transformation. So everybody will get an equal chance of being a part of building that metaverse, which is not there in a centralized app or centralized network. So I cannot be a part of building a building ecosystem on the Facebook. So Facebook or Meta platform, I can be a part of the ecosystem when we are talking about building probably decentralized. So the structure differs basically. The method of involvement differs, but at the end, when a customer or a user is using it, they are using it to get to get from one place to another to perform some task, be it meeting people, be it probably co-working, be it just gaming with somebody from different part of the world, be it an online conference. So there are so many new aspects, new use cases which have evolved, and decentralized basically involves the community to get the benefit of however they want. If somebody is a developer, they can become a coder, they can probably contribute to the source code of Decentraland. If somebody has hardware, they can probably provide their hardware to the network and get money out of it without a centralized party telling you that, okay, I don't want to give you the money, probably your hardware wasn't right. So taking away so many problems in working together, that's how I believe the right essence of metaverse will come out when we're talking about the decentralized metaverse. And
Uh, I would slightly disagree with you, Tushar, bro. Here, because I believe right now everyone would be able to see my profile picture here, but I
right,
don't actually own this. If I go to some other social media platform, I would rather upload a copy of this profile picture on that. And if I live in a real world, if I go to, let's say, HDFC Bank, I'll open my account with my name, which is Mayur. And if I, let's say, go Singapore Bank or any other bank in the world, I'll go and open an account with my name, which is Mayur. But in this world, wherein which is like centralized in nature, I don't own this identity which belongs to me. And if we don't do that, in the word metaverse word which you're trying to create, then I don't own that identity. I am not living in that word, because to if I want to own anything, firstly I need to own my identity, right? And if I don't own my identity, and if I don't just move around, if I just don't can't move around with my identity from one space to another or one word to another word, so I'm not actually owning anything here or owning anything there. So that's where I think people obviously will have their different utilities of the metaverse, but to create that sort of world which will allow people, for example, right now we are also helping everyone to launch their metaverse spaces at Metavesal, right? And everyone can, and those are currently centralized in nature, but then we have a longer vision which wherein we want to allow everyone to interoperate their spaces or avatars which they are creating in there, because they actually own it, and that's how the whole world gets interconnected. So maybe we would have to agree to disagree here.
there is no disagreement. We are on the same page. You are absolutely right. The identity is very important. So I am not going to tell you you are wrong. You are 100% right. And to explain this, so what you are talking about is owning your identity and being so much interoperable that you can use the same identity anywhere you want.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of decentralization, and we are absolutely on the same page.
Okay.
To explaining to the audience on how I feel this is going to help, I'll take an example of gaming industry. Everybody plays some game, so let's talk about um Age of Empire or probably God of War. So let's talk about God of War. I mean, it's one of my favorite games on PlayStation. So let's talk about God of War. So somebody, a company, basically created a game, created all the game's asset, created the design on how the face will look, what clothes the user avatar can wear in the game, what are the kind of weapons they can use in the game. Right now, everything belongs to the game only. You cannot take out the part of probably a weapon and use it in some other game. Uh, this building of game requires a huge amount of efforts, resources, and time. So to build that game, you need to design the world first. Then you need to design the uh, tools first. Then you need to design probably the guns, the weapons, or the clothing, or everything. Whatever you see in the game, you have to design each and every part of it to be able to launch the game in the market so that people can play. Now, when we talk about having our own identities, using NFTs into the metaverse, I believe the same example goes into the gaming side. So, and it's happening already. So, people are trying to build a framework where the objects of the game are decentralized in nature. So, the game company doesn't have to focus on building everything from scratch. So, they can probably create the experience, they can build the world, and people can bring their own compatible uh, weapons close to the game itself. So you own your products and you are able to use the same in any game you want. So that basically brings down the cost of building that game, the time for that game to go into the market, and saves a lot of resources. Not trying to recreate the wheel. So what you are saying absolutely makes sense, and I believe that's the right way of further evolution. That you don't create everything from scratch every time you need it. You can always use the same within the same framework what you own. So we are on the same page here, brother.
Yep.
Great. Thank you so much, guys. I think it was a healthy debate. So even if you're not on the same page, I think everyone enjoyed it. So thank you so much for that. I think we would love to know Vivek and what he thinks on that. And also, Vivek, we see a lot of brands evolving as well in the whole metaverse space. So how do you see that happening? How do brands evolve in this space?
Yeah, I think the way the Web3 adoption has been in quite some time from the last 2-3 years. I think brands, it is very important for them to get that transition done to Web3, because that is the new, as you say, data is the new oil. Then decentralization is the new, you know a way forward. So yeah, I think it is very important for brands to go with the trend, as it has been since the past. So, and the way NFTs and metaverses and all these things have emerged from blockchain, I think they present a very good opportunity for the brands, to come forward, use these methods, and then you know connect with their audience and a wider audience per se, so that to build that relationship, and promote their usage, promote their brand value. So a very good example for brands is the way they are promoting and using the use cases of NFTs here. So if I remember vaguely, I think the NFT market has been kind of a revolution for the brands. Uh, if we see the past 6 months to 1 year data, the way Nike and Adidas and a lot of the brands, their Coca-Cola, who have launched their NFTs and have got a very good response. And the way Gucci and all, the way H&M opened their store in the metaverse and got a lot of positive response from the users worldwide. I think that is a very positive um, outcome for this Web3 community as well, and for the brands as well, because now the sense of ownership has been established in the minds of the users. The way social media has been uh, a very revolutionary thing for a lot of influencers, for a lot of users out there. The way Facebook happened in I think early 2000s, and the same way this NFTs, Metaverse, and all have happened in the past 2 years of per se. I think it has been kind of a revolution, and I think I see a very uh, good future and very hopeful that this adoption will go a long way ahead. I hope I have my fellow speakers uh, positive comments here.
Amazing. I think we all agree with you, Vivek, on that, and we all hope that as Metaverse move forwards, more and more interesting brands come up. And personally, at Trace Network Labs, we have we are trying to launch a full stack tech for businesses to launch their own metaverses, and I'm sure a lot of different brands are trying to do something very similar in the metaverse space. So it's very exciting to see where it goes. But personally, I don't know if any of you have tried the Buddy avatar. I would love for all of you to try it and see how a real looking avatar looks like. That would be very awesome, because that's something at Trace that we are very proud of. And finally, we've reached almost to the end. We have just 10 minutes left. So, the last question for all of you will come across one at a time for all of you. Do you all think that experiences become the primary way people meet in the metaverse? So, for example, right now, someone's going in the metaverse to play a game, someone's going for something else. So, event maybe. So, do you think these kind of experiences is the reason people will go in the metaverse, or it could be something else completely? Let's go with Mayur first.
Yeah, so I actually believe that, and let me answer it this way. For example, let's say you go to a restaurant and you have two options. Either have a dosa closed eyes and have it open eyes. The way you want. Uh, so there is the difference of experience. When you have it closed eyes, you cannot see it. You cannot actually feel it. You can just have it in your stomach. You can just taste it, but when you actually see it and break it and have it, so that's a different experience which you're having. And that's where I believe that this will become the primary way, because we people will expect you to see in the virtual worlds, in the 3D spaces, in the metaverses world. They will obviously opt for having a meeting on a space, in a meeting space. And as a matter of fact, we do our meetings, daily meetings, in our metaverse spaces itself, which are launched on our platform. So why to go for a 2D kind of environment when we have the option, right? So we would obviously love to have that shift, if option given. And people would love to have that. And once they experience it, once things settle, once they feel that okay, this technology have grown up to a level where it can match their expectations, they will themselves shift, uh, you know to metaverse's world for meetings, for or talking to their friends, or having these kind of conversation which we are currently having in Twitter spaces. Why not shift it to, let's say, a metaverse space wherein we can at least see each other's avatar, or can wave to each other, can wave hi, or say bye when we are leaving, instead of just saying, having the audio here. So that's the different, because we would obviously love to have that. So there are feature phone people love feature phones still, but there are more people who love smartphones. And that's the answer. People will obviously opt for it. It will automatically become. We don't need to do anything. We just need to show it to the people that it has more potential. It can give you better experiences. It can help you to do many things. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. If people see it and experiences, I'm sure they're going to come and they're going to tell their friends as well. Tushar, what about you?
Poshak, I believe experience is one factor, utility is the other factor of why people should use it. One is experience, of course, you need the experience, but You don't need so much of experience. Why do you go on the metaverse? You are not going just for the experience. So utility is very important. When we talk about the experience of a normal app, why do you use Zomato? You don't use it because it has a good experience. You use it because you have a utility for it. So experience plus utility, these both factors will basically uh, measure on why a metaverse should succeed, why a metaverse should be in the right manner, why people should visit the metaverse. So both of these things are very important. Like Mayur said, that even your gestures are very important when we are talking to people. So your hand gestures, your body movement. So all these things basically have to translate to metaverse to complete that experience we are talking about. I'll give you an example. So we are basically working on a project called Move Player Me in partnership with somebody. So it's about providing a lot of moves to anybody on the metaverse. Right now, the moves on the metaverse are very limited. We don't have a lot of moves. You can hi, hello, bye, just jiggle, wiggle, probably around 10 to 12 moves. But the gap from real world to the metaverse will be reduced when you have uh, more experiences, more moves. You have to have more gestures compared to your regular life, so that this can be translated to the metaverse. So experience plus utility will be the most important aspect, and the experience will be available when we have uh, narrowed the difference between the real world and the virtual world, which is going to happen along with the time and the evolution of technology. And that's my 2 cents on it.
Thank you so much for that, Tushar. I think we also at Trace believe that because we're building our experiences. We partnered with a lot of companies. One of them is Mogul Productions and trying to bring events, movies, all of that in the metaverse. Plus the utility of shopping through our buddy avatars, which is getting fashion accessories, fashion, and all of that. So I think, yeah, fashion and utility, which is the utility part, plus the experiences, kind of makes sense. So let's have Vivek as well. Vivek, what is your opinion on this?
Yeah, I totally agree with Mayur and Tushar that so for me, I believe that we have now entered a period where human interactions and business interactions and all kind of interactions they have largely been started to take place in the virtual space thanks to the technological advantages. And I believe that after the uh, COVID from 2020, I think the importance of interactions has increased a lot. People, getting restricted to their houses, to their small homes, then that importance, of having interactions, having experiences, has increased a lot. But yeah, as Tushar said, the utilities around how we can use this metaverse and NFT space, that is that would be a prime factor, because either way, if we have limited utilities, limited areas where we can experience, then I think that would be kind of a what you can say fun, but I don't believe that would be the case, because uh, as the people are building, as we are seeing this industry to grow, to move forward, I think yeah, we are pretty on a very positive track, and I think we'll be able to achieve what we plan.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for that, Vivek. I think you end on a very sweet note all the time you speak. So, which is why I asked you to speak in the end because I think no better ending than that. And we don't want a debate to start again between Mayur and Tushar. Just kidding. So I think this was a lot of fun. Thank you so much, Tushar, for your expert insights. Thank you, Mayur. We wish you best of luck for the metaverse you're building. And Vivek, thank you so much for trying again and again and finally making it up. We would love to all send you all some kind of mint passes for minting your own buddy avatars. We would love to see how you look in the Trace Network Lab metaverse as well and someday have this sort of conference in the Trace Network Labs as well. So thank you so much for attending.
Yeah.
You want to say something?
Poshak, thank you very much for having
Yeah.
us here. Thank you, everybody for listening to
Thanks.
us.
Yeah, thanks, Poshak and Poshak, and thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time. Thanks.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We would
Thanks
love to see
everyone for
you.
taking some time out on this festive eve and giving your time to us.
Yes.
Have a
We would love to
fantastic
see
week.
you every week. We do this every week, Friday 8:30 p.m. So whenever you all want to jump in, the guests as well as the speakers feel free to jump in and we would love to have you again. Go ahead, Tushar.
Uh, have a brilliant weekend. The long weekend is there, at least for the Indians. So have a nice long weekend, guys.
Yes, absolutely. Have a great long weekend and happy Independence Day.
Thank, thank you. Bye bye.
Thanks
Okay,
Bye,
bye
everyone.
bye.
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank
Bye
you so
bye.
much. Bye bye. Bye bye. Enjoy the weekend.